Hi you guys, it's Tonya, and I wanted to share with you today these little vintage bags that I've been making. My idea for this would be to have a sleeve that I could put like a business card type tag into to neatly display it. I've been participating in more swaps lately, and I just think it would be a nice way to display a business card or my personal information kind of thing. So I'm going to design some business cards on the computer, and they're standard business card size, which is 3.5 by 2, but I'm going to leave another 1/4 inch margin for me to be able to cut the angles off and then add a hole punch here in the center and then tie some fibers to it and things like that. But I just thought these bags were so super neat to display it in, and I'm going to show you how I made them. Now, I know a lot of people have these vintage vintage bags that they've been selling on the internet, and that's great. If you do, you could always cut those up because the printing on those is probably a little bit better than what I'm getting from a stamp. But if you don't, this is a quick solution too. And the other option that I have here is I made some out of hymnal book pages, which are really cute, and I'm going to make some out of dictionary pages too. So those are some other options that you may have. So to get started, what you need to do is I have cut down a piece of cardstock. Business cards are, like I said, 3.5 by 2. Well, this is my template, and it's cut at 2 1/4, so that it's a little bit wider than a business card, so that it fits in and goes in and out really easily, instead of being so tight that it doesn't, you know, it wants to grab or doesn't want to go in neatly. So that's my blank. And then I'm also going to take a standard lunch bag, which the panels on the outside of the lunch bags are usually 5 inches wide. So all I did was I cut off the front and the back panels and cut off the bottoms, and then I cut it to 3 3/4 deep by 5 inches wide. So this is, just to go over the measurements again, and I'll put them on the screen, this is 3 3/4 this way by 5 inches this way, and the template that I have to measure is 2 1/4 by whatever, it doesn't matter how deep it is, but it's 2 1/4. So, and I think it's by 3 3/4 as well. So it's 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so what are we going to do is I have the stamp that's a vintage stamp that's made by Hero Arts. I got it at Michael's, and it was like $9.99, and I used a 40% off coupon, so that made it very affordable. And I'm also going to use archival black ink, which I have off to the side over here. And I'm going to press that down into that really good. Now, I will tell you that you're going to find imperfections in your bags because you're using lunch bags. Like, you see how this has a seam? It doesn't matter because I'm going to cover that up, but just be aware that there are imperfections and look for those and try and decide where you want them. It's also just a little bit crinkly, which that's okay with me too because paper bags tend to get crinkly. But I'm going to find the side that I like the best, and I think this is the side I like. And I am going to stamp my stamp, but first, before I stamp it, I'm not going to stamp it directly centered. I'm going to offset it just a little bit so it bleeds off the bag. And the reason I'm doing that is because whenever I go to line this back up in a few minutes, I don't want the same designs to bump into each other, you know, completely. It's okay if they do happen to come up next to each other, but I don't want them to be exactly bumped up. Exact. I want it to look like a continuous sheet of paper. So I'm pressing as hard as I can because, like I said, these bags do not absorb ink very well, and I want as neat a print as I can get. And see how it's still a little porous in here? That's okay with me. I'm good with that. And I'm going to wipe that off my mat so that I don't end up with it all over my project. Then I'm going to come back and re-ink again and get it good and inky, and then this time I'm going to try and bump that stamp straight up to the edge of where that last image was, and I'm going to press really, really hard. Nice. Now I'm going to put this ink to the side, and I'm going to wipe this up. Now you want to make sure for this next segment, you want to make sure that you take your blank and you're going to kind of try and see if you can find the center, or at least if like here I have an imperfection. I'm going to cheat that side just a little bit so that I know I hide that imperfection. So I'm going to pull that over, and I'm going to apply a little bit of glue to this edge right here. Don't glue your template in place, you know, just add glue to the bag, the edge of the bag. I'm using hot glue, but you could probably use the quick dry glue. Don't use glue sticks, because they may not stick for a long time. So you're going to put that down and see how these images kind of overlap. That's why I did the offset, so that they didn't line up exactly the same. Again, I'm just going to come back and add a little bit more glue right here so that my paper bag seam doesn't want to come up. Now, my blank is in there. I need to pull it out. And now what I'm going to do is decide which side is the upside of my design, which clearly this is. So this is going to be the bottom of my bag. I'm going to fold this in half. I'm not going to crease it. I'm just going to snip off at an angle down here at the bottom, this part of the bag, just at an angle, so I can eliminate some of the extra bulk. Then I'm going to take my bone folder, which I have buried on this desk, and I'm going to line it up with the two edges where I just cut, and I'm going to kind of crease that up just a little bit. You could use your Martha Stewart scoreboard, but I don't want to pull it out for all of this. And I'm just going to kind of fold those down and crease them. Now I'm going to open it back up, and I'm going to apply glue right to the flap of that bag. I'm going to fold that down, and then you've got this inside part, and again I'm going to apply glue to the flap of that. Now, just for an added touch across the top, if you've got any like uneven edges, you can go ahead and even those up on a paper trimmer. But what I'm going to do is, I like the way paper bags have this kind of natural, like, I don't know, fringed edge here. So I'm going to take my Deco Edge scissors, which are a small scallop, and I'm going to cut. Now these don't like to cut on paper bags, but if you notice I have a little bit of a line right here that I can follow as a guide for keeping it straight. And I'm going to just trim those edges down and try to be as straight and as neat as possible. And there you go. Now you have your little bag. And when you take your business card and you stick it in, it's perfect. How stinking cute is that? So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Go out there, make them out of music paper, make them out of dictionary pages, book pages, anything. I just think they're so super cute. And this is a great way to recycle your grocery bags or your lunch bags too. So, you know, have some fun with it, and I'd love to see what you guys create. Thanks for watching.